Right, I'm having trouble today because wherever I go to do this recording, there's people occupying the place, like the church and the abandoned barn. I'll get through it as best I can. It's about this olive and what the psychic predicted. So I'll just give you a quick reminder. On the 2nd of May 2026, I saw a psychic and a clairvoyant, and the clairvoyant said your life's going to change in the middle of this month onwards, but she didn't predict olive. The other one did, and she said it was set in stone. A couple of days later, I got pissed and I paid for 20 quid for an online reading from a psychic in America, but she only gives you one message for that amount of money regarding one subject, and you can and she came up with exactly the same. She said that Olive is going to be my partner between basically the middle, so that's the 15th of May till the 2nd of June. It'll be by the 2nd of June, that's what I'm saying. So basically they said it'd be, if it does hit June, it'd just be the start, like the very beginning, like the first 2 days. The other one didn't, said it was be in that time gap as well, but she didn't say it in as exact. Well, anyway, what has come true is things are getting a lot worse. I mean, really bad. And I have spoken to someone yesterday, which I need to get through, which is very serious, because this reading might even be through what the psychic has predicted, and that's not good news, because yesterday I had a whole load of threats to say that you're being K'd down with a weapon, and it's been even nastier today. I'm at Bridport. I was at Bridport yesterday, but I got the same problem today. Yeah, it's nastier. I've actually had some people get aggressive, shouting, and I've even had a weapon held up to me, which happens to be about the size of 12 inches. So yeah, I'm not very happy about that. Luckily I was distant, and I exited the area quickly, but all of these threats and all of it is because of this person called Saven, who they're mistaking me as. Also, each and every threat is on sexuality, and you've got to take into account, as I've mentioned many times, I've never had sex with Sadie, I've never had sex with any woman, and I've never raped any children, so I'd like to know why I'm getting all these threats. And there's also other things I want to mention as well, which are even more serious, which has happened today, which was said by a nasty piece of shit, office worker style clothing, posh car, but I'll get to that a bit later on, because I want to get this olive bit out the way first, in case you don't want to go through like a 40+ minute documentary, which it'll take roughly to do what I need to mention. Right, so to start with, right, so the threats increase. The threats are getting more aggressive. They're actually saying I'm actually being K'd down. They're actually complaining about my t-shirt because it's got a Dance Trans Capital Punishment, Dance Trans A Never Ending Story, and Dance Trans Mission Control 2nd of the 4th 1994, which is my favourite, which are mixtapes I had when I was a teenager, and I still listen to them today, but I listen to them on YouTube. In fact, I was listening to a whole load of Strictly Jungles yesterday, because that's what the Dance Trance is all jungle music. Deep underground, rare groove jungle from the 90s, the early 90s. Anyway, yesterday, at 2:30, so yesterday, I'll give you the day's date, I didn't give you that yet, I don't think. So it's the 19th of the 5th, 2026. So, we're 4 days in to where I'm supposed to be getting this olive as a girlfriend. It's possible that her nickname could be Flo, or vice versa, because the one in America gave another name that could be connected to her, or was suggesting that something or rather, I can't remember what she said, but it's one person. Right, so about just before 2:30 PM on the 18th of May, I got off the bus to go into Waitrose to get a meal deal. I've done much the same today, but I want to talk about yesterday first. So I bought something to eat, and as I was paying for it at the checkout, I subconsciously looked out the window and I saw a lady who had really sexy, like, smooth skin, brown hair, dark brown hair, I think it was, brown eyes, and that sort of really sexy, sort of turn you on sort of appearance. She looked at me. I was looking subconscious because I was in a world of my own at that time, paying for my stuff. But I looked out the window. It was sort of subconscious at the time, and I noticed that she was looking at me in a sexual way. So I was like looking at her like I'm gagging for her, I need a fuck, you know, or whatever. So I thought, where if you haven't had sex in your whole life, then surely there could be that could be a person possible. But when I sort of came to my conscious state, less than a second or 2 seconds later or whatever it was, I then found out that she was a mother because she's pushing a pushchair, and she had 2 or 3 children on top of that. So this is a very used person where mistakes have been made. Also, the psychic didn't predict this Olive being a mother. However, the description I just gave you of the lady that I saw at 2:30 p.m. while paying for my stuff at Waitrose at Bridport yesterday, on the 18th of the 5th, 2026, she was the same description as the psychic gave for Olive, and same age as well. Anyway, after that I go for a little walk, and as I go for a walk I let a granny pass on the path, and next to this person there's a lady behind me that it looked like she purposely nudged me or tried to make me trip, but it wasn't done in a nasty way, because she said sorry and said I really do apologise for that, and said that's not a problem. So then I said something, but I can't remember what it was, because I used a word or a sentence that I've forgotten what I said, but it would be handy if I could remember, because it's one of those words or sentences that is a good way to get someone into a conversation if you don't know them, and it's one of the most polite ways of doing it as well. But I just cannot remember what it was, because when I was thinking of the wording at the time, it just come out as like a word I don't usually, a sentence I don't usually use, you know. So I thought, well. So then we went into a conversation, and I found out her name is Olive, believe it or not. So I just had the shock of my life. But there was a bit of bad news. Only 2 days before, she found a partner and got in a relationship, which is not good at all, because that's the name of what the psychic predicted. I did do this recording yesterday, but I lost my temper and I've had to delete it because I've got to do it again. And take into account it was a bit more cloudy yesterday, I'm being sort of, the sun's making me more chilled out today, even though I've had a lot of trouble. Yeah, we got into a conversation, and she said she's in a relationship, and I don't know whether the psychic's on about this particular Olive, but she said if she was single, she said, I think you'd be a little bit out of my age range, like moaning about the age gap, but she was polite in the way that she put it. So there's still a possibility that there's another Olive. I mean, I might not have known an Olive all my life, or maybe just once in my life when I was a kid or whatever, possibly, I don't know, I can't remember. And then you might get like 5 or 6 Olives pop up at the same time in the time period the psychic prediction has been predicted. I just do not know. But it has made me a bit disappointed, to say the least. But I got a load of other subjects to get through as well. But if you just want to listen to the bit about the psychic prediction, and then after about 3 minutes from now, stop the recording. If you want to hear the whole recording, just go right through it. So yeah, so that's what this Olive. I ended the conversation, or we ended the conversation politely, and because we were walking in the same direction, we sort of walked so far, chatting before saying catch you later or whatever, and then she went off. Yeah, so she got a boyfriend just a couple of days before. So this is yesterday. I wanted to give up smoking yesterday, but I ended up getting another packet of fags, and I ended up smoking a lot, which is not good because I'm getting sort of chest pain. When you cough, you get chest pain near halfway up the chest on the right side. I've been trying to give up for quite a while, but sometimes because I drink vodka in the evenings, as like because of my loneliness, and I've had enough of being alone. If we go back, just at the start of last year, I was actually thinking of ending my life because of how bad it's been and the fact that I'm never going to get anyone. But it didn't work out that way. I sort of tried new things and got out of that state myself, which is a big struggle because I was in a bad way. So yeah, after I left Olive, obviously, that's where I did. Yeah, that's right. That's where I went into the barn to do the recording, like I'm doing now. But I've got to do it outside because someone's in there today, which I only located yesterday, by the way. I took a picture of a fireplace in there. Yeah, so yeah, when I was doing that, it took about an hour or so to do that, and then I got on the bus and went home using public transport. As I went into Aldi's, and a boy only aged about 14 threatened to smash me in and saying I'd take me out with a weapon, thinking I was Sven and thinking I was a rapist. And then I had a load of other people start on me as well. There was a person on a bike that started on me. There was two people in a car that shouted at me when I went to cross the road, directly after. Same stuff. And also to be shot. And one to smash me out and break my arms and legs off. Again, thinking I'm Sven, and again it's on sexuality of some kind. When I was walking up the street to my place, the road, sorry, I had two people start on me there, and then someone was photographing me with their smartphone, mistaking me as Sven. When I got home, I was sort of just doing what I was going to do, thinking about the documentary, but I thought it was too unhappy to put on YouTube or Facebook, because it's got a lot of me losing my, well, not losing my temper. I managed to control my temper as the sort of wording I used. How I was in a real bad mood after I found out that this Olive that I was speaking to yesterday was in a relationship. I just want to go back to a clairvoyant reading, psychic reading, sorry, that I had at the Healing Weekend by Sue Hudd, going back some years ago, and we've got people coming, so I'm going to have to stop the recording and redo it on the next one. So no, it's alright, I can just about do it. They're walking past. I had that yesterday as well, mind. In fact, it was worse yesterday than it was today, and it was a wetter day yesterday, where today's dry and sunny. Right, so actually I can't remember if it was raining yesterday. I think it's just on and off drizzle, I think. Yeah, so I've lost what I was going to say now. It's gone out of my head. Yeah, so last night was up back at my place, and I noticed all the threats were kicking off outside. Anything to say that you're sad, you're not having her, not exactly giving names of who, but they didn't. But they're saying you've got to go with a middle-aged woman, you've got to go with an old bag, you're sick, whatever. If you don't fancy an old granny, you know, not taking into account that I've never had anyone in my whole life, or not even had sex apart from being abused as a child, and I'm not very happy with the way I'm being treated, to be told that I'm going to be weaponed down, smashed to pieces, or have my life taken. And they're getting very aggressive and very stern about it as well. This is not common threats. This is getting nastier. I remember saying on one of the recordings that I was doing recently, 2021 and 2022 are the nastiest direct threats in my whole life, where there's about 100 incidents in 2021, where I almost lost my life and almost got chased, or a weapon was held up and took Jason. I was luckily had to get out of these situations by either knocking on someone's door or going into like I've had to shout on a couple of occasions for help because of the situation, because these sorts of people I can't fight because they're like 4-5 times my build. In actual fact, they're more muscular than any of my family or relatives, even when they were doing gym and all that. So I won't say what members, but yeah, they're harder than them as well. These people that start on me seem to be like very muscular, all of them, the whole lot of them. These people with that rough accent always seem to be muscular people, and there's no way I'm not built. I was not born to be built to be able to defend myself against this type of person. So they're going to win against me regardless. And something else I want to quickly mention while it's on the top of my mind, we're getting animal sounds, seagull sounds, crow sounds, saying that I'm going to hell because I've been masturbating. And it's coming out very clear. Or they're telling me to have sex with people that sexually abused me as a child, or telling people that well, basically what happens is I walk past a rough person or an unsteady person, and a seagull or crow is making a sound as to say that person raped kids or stuff like that, or he tried murdering someone, or all that sort of stuff. And yes, it's causing trouble, and but I can't stop what sounds animals want to make. It's it sounds a bit more serious than coincidence, because it's been going on for many years. Even when I was being abused as a child, they were making sounds like ha 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 on an occasion that I remember. So yeah, I'm not very happy to say the least, but I got a lot more to cover, because after last night, and there was a load of loud bikes tied to erections as well, and you had this burning problem. There's something that's causing me to burn in my apartment, and it causes like cat claw scratch burning marks, like a sour burning that goes right through you. It even hits into the bone. It feels like the bone's burning. You could get a bit of sore eyes, and sort of the lungs feel a bit raw as well when you're breathing in that air, and you just get itchy feet all the time, and the feeling like it just makes you, it feels like it's defeating you. It's taking over your body. It's sort of, I don't know what causes it, but only seems to occur at that apartment. It doesn't occur anywhere else. Yeah, that was very bad this morning as well. So yeah, so that's last night out of the way. I need to go into today now, don't I? So initially I wake up with burning issues, and obviously a time and a loud bike to an erection with never a miss, and they're hammering the setups up me as well, which has been a bit less over the last 3 days, which is sort of in the time period where the psychic predicted this olive. I can't guarantee that's coming true now because of what I've just told you on this recording. However, I'm not discounting the issue. There is still just under 2 weeks left, or around that sort of time, for it to come true, and it's only the first 4 days. I was speaking to my mum, in fact, on Facebook, talking about it last night, because I wanted to mention some issues. Right, so the next thing I want to mention is when I went out today, I had a whole load of people from cars shouting their heads off. One actually opened his door and almost got out, saying that he's going to smash me to pieces, thinking I was Sven, or doing it on sexuality. As I got down the next section of the road, there was 4 more people, including teenage ladies, saying you're fucking weird as fuck, or you're sick as fuck. And then I had a teenage mother pushing a buggy in my direction, and she's shouting her head off, saying that you're supposed to look at people in their 40s, you sad fuck, saying you need to be K'd down and you need to be dead. And I was doing nothing. I didn't even look at her hardly, only to pass her. That's it. When I got to the bus station, I had to put up with everyone smoking a raspberry vape, and they're rubbing their vaping, the vaping, the raspberry fragrance. and it irritates me, that, because it's all exhaled, it's all been in their lungs. You don't get any fresh smell like you do with a cigarette, a cigar, or someone smoking weed or whatever. You've got just full on exhaled raspberry fragrance vaping. They're dirty, to be honest, those vapes. I don't like them. I have tried it. I take a few puffs here and there from one of the neighbours' vapes to see what it's like. I don't like them. I use Nicorettes if I want to try and give up smoking. I've used them for about a year, but I've got to be careful because you can get mouth cancer from it. So, you know, it's sort of it's put in that situation. Anyway, for Bridport, today's been one of the nastiest days since last year, to be fair. I mean, the psychic did say on the build up to this olive, things was going to get worse, and it has got worse. It's got nastier, especially with the issue with the knife being mentioned in threats. That seems to be the main threat at this minute in time. And also, there's a person complaining about my t-shirt, saying if you don't take that t-shirt off, I think I've already mentioned this, I can't remember, but I'll recap just in case I didn't, because I've got a whole irritating windy weather and tree rustling that's making it very difficult to think properly. They're not happy about my Dance Trance t-shirt with them on it, and they're threatening to take me out with a weapon. I don't know what the reason is, because I'm doing no harm wearing that t-shirt, because the music I used to listen to. But that's starting to occur as well. They're getting really nasty about it. So firstly, because it's a bit early in the morning and I couldn't do nothing, usually I go to the Mind. You've got one person there called Lucy that hasn't been there since January, and she's got a surname that matches the burning problem that I've had to put up with for 3 years at my place that I just mentioned. Interesting that it was bad this morning, because that's the day Lucy would have gone, but no one goes there anymore. And Lucy was the one that reported me to Mind for putting on Facebook that I like her as a friend or whatever it was. My son's making it very difficult. Firstly, I went on the bus just to waste some time. I just sort of got off, wait the bus come back around 10 minutes, just to waste time, not to do anything. I did try and go in the shop though, and I had to walk out with nothing because I couldn't get in there. But I just couldn't get served, and people were sneezing everywhere. That's been bad as well. People coughing and sneezing in my direction. So yeah, I got back on the bus, went back to the bus station, and then I got on the Bridport bus. When I got on the Bridport bus, obviously there's loads of setups with time bike issues or whatever. Setups were pretty bad. And what I mean by setups, in case you don't know, is like force control obstacles in my direction that's coming out as a malicious suggestion, or as interpretations or wording on vehicles that are coming out as messages in a pattern to reveal a message to you in a clever way that goes unnoticed and looks disguised. And obviously they've been doing this issue where they've been timing overhanging trailers to rip my legs off from behind, or timing these nasty people in my direction. That's what's causing all the trouble. If we go back before the Savem threat came in and the Liam threat, most of the types of people that I was walking into would have been like these people with the pit bull terrier dogs, or these hardstyle raver type people, rather than these sort of newer types of people that you get. And nowadays it seems to be different types of people. It seems to be a bit like the type that like heavy metal, maybe, or it's hard to describe. The ones that like hip hop, the ones that are into like the ones that have their like growing the beards and looking hard, or the it's these types of people I've never really sort of walked into my whole life until around the time that the Savem threat came in, when I was being mistaken as that person, which was I can't remember what year it was. I think it was 2016. I cannot remember. I know I mentioned it on other recordings in the past I put on YouTube, but I just can't remember the year. And before that time, I never had the threat in my whole life, nor the Liam threat. That came in around the same time, or about 6 months after, or 6 months before, I can't remember. But that sort of picked up big time as well, especially when I moved to Yeovil. So yeah, the types of people I walk into these days are not the same people that I was walking into if we go back to that sort of time period and before that I just mentioned. There's like these people, like these tough people are on Harley Davidson bikes in America, or these truckers that drive in America, or these people. It's not the same types of people that I'm walking into anymore. I don't know how that's changed, or how that twist has caused everything to be different from that time onwards, but yeah, I don't walk into any other types of people anymore. It just seems to be that type, even before I moved, you know, because it was only 5 years ago that I moved to Yeovil. So there's a few other things I want to mention. I get that all out of the way, because I haven't got a clue if this fucking reading's fallen through or not that I've been given. I just hope it hasn't. I mean, the problem is that person was called Olive, but just 2 days ago she got someone before I did, so that would have been 3 days ago, working on the principle of it of the day it is today, which is what's the day? 19th. Yeah. So it'd be 1 day into the prediction of when this Olive was supposed to come into my life. Anyway, like I said, it could be other Olives, so just keep fingers crossed. But what I will say is, if we go past the 2nd of June and I got no one, there'll be hell to pay, I'll tell you that, because that means that someone has deliberately taken it away, someone has stopped me getting that person, or they've deliberately put it through. Because that psychic and the one in America, the psychic I saw, that is, and the one in America, both said that Olive is set in stone. It's not going to fall through. So that's why I'm annoyed. And also, when I had the readings, they were also saying not to move until you get with Olive, or made it that strong suggestion. Obviously, to tell me, they can't tell me what to do, but they're just giving me some advice of what spirits from the other side are telling them. And they're saying they believe that if I was to go with anyone, if I was to move from my place before I get with Olive, then there's going to be a lot of trouble that's going to occur, and it's going to kick off. And said that you'll be in danger as well, and it's not worth taking that chance. And saying, in fact, it could make a milder version that means the same as they're going to make your life hell, and you're going to end up with a lot of trouble. She just said, just wait until Olive comes into your life first. So I'm hoping that reading comes true. And she did pick up on health things as well when I went to see her on the 2nd of May. Like issues like if you need to stop smoking, which I'm trying to do at the moment. But it's very difficult with all these people starting on me, because I want to do it on an evening where I'm not being started on or anything like that, and that doesn't seem to be the case at the moment. Obviously, when it comes to drinking vodka in the evenings, that's another thing I need to get grips on. But the problem is, I'm not going to stop all this until I've got a partner, because I've basically, in some ways, thrown my life away. I don't want to have to use that term, but I really don't enjoy my life. That is all I look forward to in the evenings, and the possibility that someone I'm dating was going to let me have sex, because I've been suffering for like a shag all my life, and I'm not even being able to get it. And all they're doing is waning on with the past, with basically things that is not proper sex. When they digging up things, like when enemies dig up things. And also, they made up so much trouble in the past. They caused all the females to turn against me, or they've turned all the sexual-looking females for themselves. Back in the day when I should have had someone when I was a teenager, and they told me that they made them single mothers. They made them mothers to mess it up, and they've just gone ha ha. My enemies have been very nasty right through my life. They're the ones that stopped me getting anyone, and that's why it needs to be replaced. And that's what's not happening at the moment. So this is why I've got to rely on this psychic reading, who've predicted the name Olive. But with this worrying situation and the threats I had is not good, because I've got some more stuff that I need to mention, and I'm being belted with fucking traffic at the moment. That's right, park here. That's right, I'm going to have to walk on, there's no choice. 2 seconds, I can't piss about, I need to get this I need to mention this recording. Right, before it knocks me out of what I've so yeah. Right, so very difficult this is. You're gonna have to bear with me just a minute till I can get somewhere, because I need going back to Sue Hud. I can't remember if I mentioned this, because I can't keep redoing this recording, because people keep on putting people in my direction to stop me having a fucking say. They want me to shut my mouth. I'm Mr. fucking Zippy. Get a taste of your own fucking medication and just drop fucking dead. That's their attitude. The people that are controlling this force around me, whether it's caused by Yahweh or whether it's caused by a criminal force like the Illuminati, I do not know. I get pissed off of it. Right, so obviously I'm gonna have to struggle like hell now to just a second. Right, yes, going back, I had a prediction from a Lauren that was predicted by Sue Hud at the healing weekend years ago. I don't go there anymore because I've been accused of stealing. I had a photograph taken of me, and I was told by the person I was accused of stealing off of the stall there that I'm going to end up smashed in with a weapon, and he was saying that I was Savem when that's not my name. Also, I can't go in hardly any of the shops in the area where I used to live in Burnham, because everyone's starting on me thinking I'm Savem. Going back to 2021 and 2022, there's one specific day I was looking up on it. There's nearly 300 threats on one specific day going back, and it's in the Christmas time period of 2021. So back to Lauren. If I can get to say that it's very difficult at the moment, because I need to do this recording and I'm being pushed about wherever I go. I'm not sure how busy that road gets, but I was told that, I wasn't told, I heard it in conversation by a couple of people saying there's never any traffic on that road. So, obviously, but without any confirmation of how many cars go past, and I do not know, but I'll try and see if I can get back to that barn if I can, and finish the recording now. But let me get on to Lauren if I can. I'll do my best. So I have a CD that I hold up. So the psychic was right, but there's people down the aisle that were starting on me that's messed it up. But let me get into the story, yeah? Alright, so she predicted Lauren. She says it can't fall through. She says you're going to get to Tesco's and she's going to be your babbage or something like that. I can't remember the word she used now. She said she's all yours. So this Lauren, if I had to describe her, would look similar to Britney Spears with the mixed face of Kylie Minogue, but she'd have very smooth skin. It's like one of those really smooth types of women. Sort of, I don't know anyone I can put, like a celebrity that you'd know to match this person. So yeah, that's not easy at all. But what I will say is she is a sexy type. I did find someone on a profile. She was posing as a weapon on one of her pictures, but she's a little bit younger than Lauren. But she did look like Lauren, so I do have some form of picture of her. If I remember, I might put that picture on with this recording. When I upload it. So it starts off, I went to Tesco's, I ordered a CD up with the asking if anyone's single on it, which is something I use as a leaning pad to write my problems down when I'm going out. I saw her. She saw what information was on there. This would have been 2018 period, and when I was walking down the aisle, walking down the shop aisle, she looked at me, she started to chat, and these two people were mistaking me as Sven, and they wanted to smash me out in the supermarket on the floor outright. So I had to get out the area, and I went back on another occasion, and as coincidence would have had it. Just a second, see if I can get in the barn now. See, as coincidence had it, just check, make sure it's all clear, because I went in there yesterday to it and I couldn't. There's no people in here now. Yeah, so I went back to Tesco's on another occasion. I can't remember how long it was, maybe a couple of weeks or whenever. And as coincidence had it, as I just said, I had yet another person come down down an aisle where she was, having a go at me, thinking I was Sven and threatening to smash me out. Then on a third time was at the checkout. I forgot about this one actually, and she smiled at me, but nothing materialised, and there was a couple of rough people that were getting a bit edgy with me in the queue, and also by someone that's all been served, that's just standing about with a pushchair. So he was in his early 20s, or mid 20s should I say, and she was about 18, something like that, with a buggy. And he was saying stuff which included the names of them, but I couldn't make out the full conversation, and on that occasion I had to leave. On the next occasion, Lauren didn't acknowledge me, and then there's another person that started in that shop, which is a few months later. I can't remember when. Well, it's sometime later. I can't remember. It's not something. When I sort of, I'll have to look on the sheets or whenever, because I can't remember. But I know it's a bit of a time after, not a couple of bit more time than the last incident, but between the three incidents I just mentioned. Yeah, on that occasion, I saw her again. She turned her head, didn't really speak to me. She didn't get nasty or nothing like that. She knew that there might be trouble coming, and there was. But this time, on that occasion, I had to leave my I had to walk out of Tesco's completely without paying for my stuff. So what I did is I had to put the stuff on a pile on the shelf, hoping that the staff that worked there can put it back in its place, because I had to walk out of the shop because I was being threatened to be weaponed down, being mistaken as Sven. Also, I was being told that I'm having my guitar smashed up. But the thing is, I don't play a guitar and I don't listen to guitar music. But these people that are mistaking me as Sven think I do. And in recent times, the last couple of years in particular, they think that Sven's changed his music to the music I listen to, which is old school jungle, which is probably a load of nonsense. About 6 months to 9 months after this, I saw Lauren again, and she was in a relationship, so it meant it was too late to go with her. So it was put through. When I saw her boyfriend, Mike, because he's big build person, he's a bit younger than me, but he's a big build person, he was doing some work on a scaffolding not far from Tesco's, and he shouted across saying he was going to absolutely smash me to pieces and break my legs and everything, calling me a child, whatever, a woman, whatever, and just going on like that. And he did actually start to climb down off the steps and said, I'm going to smash you in right now, and all the rest of it. And I had to walk a bit faster and avoid the situation. When I saw Lauren again, this would have been several months after, I can't remember, again, I don't know the exact time period, not as long as the period I just mentioned though. It turned out she's been made a mother of 2, but one could be the boyfriend's baby as well, because at the age of they're only about, one was a baby and the other was about 2, and she definitely wasn't pregnant at the time when I first knew this Lauren, who doesn't like me today either, by the way. And I forgot about this. She did make a remark at me in a nasty way just before we went into the lockdown, as if I was a sad person, and gave me that sort of nasty, sort of despicable look. Yet just several years before, whatever, a couple of years before, it was all different. She saw the CD I held, but so in some ways, Sue Hudd, the psychic I saw, if it wasn't for those enemies, I would have actually been with that specific lady. So she was spot on. With this olive reading, it's even more accurate as far as a prediction goes, because these two psychics, one in person told me it was going to be between middle of May, which we're in now, just past the middle of May, before the 2nd of June. And also the one in America, with no connection to the one in the UK that I saw, said the identical thing. And all the other stuff that I mentioned, like not to move before you get with that person, and the drinking and smoking problem. And she mentioned a few other things as well. And everything that was mentioned was a spot on. There was no mistakes. So this is why I got more good feeling in me about this specific reading. But the problem is, when I spoke to an olive yesterday, it's not put me in a very good mood. That's why I had to delete the recording that I did yesterday, as I already mentioned. Now, going back 3 days ago, we've got another problem. There's this Ella that I knew at Mind. I knew her for one day on the 14th of January. I spoke to her when I was there, and she said she was there the week before, but I didn't see her there the week before. And then she said she's going to keep on coming there every week until May. And she sort of liked me as a friend, you know. She played pool with me, and she really is a friendly person. But she is a lot younger than me. I will say that. She's an adult, obviously, but she is a lot younger. So yeah. Since that time, I've not seen her since. But what I have discovered, or I found out, is that between a mix of things of what's been said, and also from threats or what people said in the street or whatever, or what I've been told or whatever, if you put a whole lot together, I'll give my story of what's happened. So I've basically been told that Ella's been stopped from going there, or Ella's had to change the course that she was doing to something else, making it sound like it's because of me, or because of the age gap, or worried about her situation because she's through like a company, or possibly, I don't know why she went to Mind, is to sort of learn or to experience some form of work, or whatever you want to call it, I don't know. Yeah. Well, she was single at the time, because I sort of didn't ask sort of question, but I did. It was, how do I word it? It came out that she said she was single, basically, in a conversation of what I said, but it was done in like a way where it's like, where I was just talking in general conversation, just chatting, you know, as a friend, you know. So it came out that she was single, but not in the way of I was asking her if she's single, if you get what I'm saying. It's sort of, but unfortunately in February, she got with someone, and she has been made pregnant. So she's had tests, according to what I just mentioned, between the forces and everything else told me, either by threats or whatever, or by what I've been told, you know, putting a whole lot together and just giving my story to simplify everything, to make it less awkward, and to make it easier, just to get through it quicker. So yeah, so even if she was single, she's not single, sorry, I mean, even if I did want to get with her at a later time or whatever, it's now too late. They deliberately made her pregnant. But at the time this occurred, I was getting threats outside because obviously all this trouble's increased, and saying that we messed it up for you going with Ella. She's too young and you're not going with her. She's got a boyfriend now. We made sure of it, and stuff like that. So that really, really annoyed me. And they're saying you've got to go with a middle-aged woman. You've got to go with a grubby looker. No one gives a damn about you. You're just a pervert. You're a sick so-and-so. You won't fancy. You should have been with Lisa Pike, you know, which is an old school friend that I can't fancy. I mean, they're not all grubby in my age group, but they are in the UK. If you go to China or to Japan, even when they're 50 or 60, they got the skin of a 13-year-old, or the body or the look of, you know, of a young adult, you know. I mean, most women have this skin type of 13 right up until they're in their 30s. But, you know, I'm being told that I've got to go with people over the age of 37 for first ever relationship, and saying that if you don't, then you're a very sad person, and getting very aggressive about it as well. Even on dating in the UK, the ones that are genuine, that is. You know, they just say you've got to go with people over 37. That is older than the age Jesus Christ was when he was crucified, let alone when he was in a sexual relationship with the child Mary Magdalene. She was a child prostitute. Mary Magdalene is a piece of information that they can't put in the Holy Bible because of paedophilia. Because Jesus had sex with someone below the age of consent, and they're not allowed to put it in the Bible, so they took it out. So I don't think it's ever actually been put in the Bible, actually. But so I need to do some research on YouTube or something like that and see where it came from. Because they're claiming that all these things are like hidden, or they found them. They've been there all along. They're just not allowed to reveal that sort of information. That's why they. That's what they're doing. But anyway, let's get out of that subject and give you more about Ella, shall we? Not only did they tell me that they've messed up, if the possibility was there for me to go with Ella, but right through the whole of the old school jungle scene, right across my favourite mixes, right across my favourite tracks, my top favourite tracks that I've listened to most of my life, is uncovering the word Ella, or making a sound or sample in the music that says Ella, like Ella, or Ella, Ella, or whatever. I'll give you a few tracks, ones I can think of just on top of my head, that actually make that sound or suggest the name Ella. So you've got subsequence, drumming space. There's a sample 3/4 of the way through the track which goes Ella, like that, something like that. Right, I'm getting lost with tracks now. I did have a load of tracks I mentioned yesterday when I was doing this recording, but I've forgotten what they were. You've got a mixtape that you had back in the day. It's not one I actually had. Out of all the dance trances, I never had many. I didn't have any of the ones from the Intelligence series. So it's called Dance Trance, Intelligence, Trinity Hall, and it's also known as Atlantis. Early 1995, Dance Trance Randall, Intelligence. So it's a 60-minute tape. And I only discovered this tape in the last 2 months. And it's in a time period after I knew Ella on that specific day. Well, on that tape, there's a Chinese MC. I can't remember what it is. I think it's MC Trailer, I'm not sure. And you've got MC Bassman on there as well. And there's a track called Out in the Streets. I can't remember who did it. And it says that in the music. That's when the Chinese MC comes on. It's near the start of the tape, or not far in, on side A, where this Chinese MC says this: Ella's coming strong, yeah. And then obviously, I'm trying to think what other tracks there was. There's quite a few tracks that I mentioned yesterday. They're right in the jungle scene, right across the jungle scene. There's right across the dark ambient cryo chamber records as well, which is music I listen to when I get very low. Because when I get very low, I like to have music where I feel down in like a crying sort of state music. And also, when it comes to New Age or meditation, there's a whole load of tracks there that are also making the suggestion of the name Ella. As I discovered the tracks, it started to go into the hundreds in my top favourites, where this Ella was being suggested. Not just for wording, but for the sound and the music. It's like, for example, there's many tracks. Sunshine Productions, Tripping on Sunshine, Two on a Tip, Mad, which is on Jungle Splash, takes you into jungleism. That's ones I mentioned yesterday. Sounds like it says Ella and Justin on Master Safe, rolling with the punches. I think on the 10-inch, which wasn't released or properly. I think they titled it Hitting the Roof. I'm not sure. I think it's one of those records where it had 2 titles. So the next thing was, even in Insolent Boy, Need You track, which is known as Redneck Need You on the Essential Drum and Bass collection or whatever it is, I can't remember what it's called now. It's a Danny Styles remix, by the way. It's not stated as that, but it is the Danny Styles remix. It's a track that goes, yeah, whoa, 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 need you. But it sounds like it's saying Ella needs you. It's sort of, it's in. There's loads and loads of tracks. There is actually another video that I put on YouTube explaining this Ella business. But here's where it gets even more serious. Not long after that, I was looking up, trying to find a symbol or a word that says Ella, and then it came up the Christianity religion, and I thought, yeah, I don't like Christianity. I turned against Yahweh, and I turned against Jesus Christ, and I turned against him since April. Permanent turn because of sexuality and the fact that all my life I've been tortured on sexuality and have trouble on sexuality from day one, and I even here living on earth because of sexuality. So sexuality is causing nearly all problems right through my whole life, and I'm not letting it go, never. And this is why I've turned against Christ and Yahweh. Anyway, before I fully turned against God, I discovered that Ella means the divine light, means the righteous. Basically, in other words, it's near enough saying that Ella is Jesus Christ, and I'm not making that up. So what you need to do is go on Google search, type in what does Ella mean in religion, and then type in the same again, but what does it mean in Christianity on Google search, and you'll be surprised with the results. And when I knew about that, I thought, well, we made the biggest mistake ever if that person was to go with me. But then we had this Olive predicted by the psychic. Obviously she's going to be a bit older than Ella, because Ella was quite young. A lot of people are moaning about the age gap in modern times. This is what's messing up everything. I've spoken to a lot of people online in the USA, the genuine users, because there are some genuine users, and I mentioned this to them as well, and they say, well, age is just a number. So, but I try telling them in the UK they're being very, very fussy about it. I don't know why, but when I was having a chat with my brother on Facebook, he's saying it's not just in the UK. He says it seems to be around the whole of Europe late. He said it seems to be around the whole of Europe, so there must be changes or something that's occurring in Europe for this to go on. But as far as Asia goes, or America or other places, they're quite simply okay with the age gap. They say it's all about love and all about helping each other, and saying, and because one of them knew that I'd been abused as a child, the one in America, she said, there's no problem with me going with someone whatever age it was that I mentioned. She said that does not make you sick at all. Saying if you've been through that, and she said people should be, I don't know how she worded it. She made it sound like if someone's been abused or whatever, they should take that into consideration if complaining about age gaps. And I was saying about the staff at supported housing, or the people in authority, saying that you've got to look, because of your age, you have got to look to someone older, even if you've been abused or whatever. And this young lady in her 20s agreed with me. I think she was about 24 or whatever it was, same age as the Olive that was predicted for me. Take into account I'm 44, coming up 45 this year in December. That's why I'm getting very upset that I've not had anyone yet. Anyway, this lady I just mentioned, who's 24 in America, did agree with me, saying that is a bit far-fetched, what people are saying, that you have to go with a single mother, or someone that you don't take to, who's a lot older than what you prefer, especially if that's happened to you. So yes, she agrees, but the problem is the intelligence in the UK is different, and they have a more dry and sarcastic attitude to the situation. Or if it's not in the UK, it's definitely in the south west of England. Right, so I've covered Ella, which is completely out of the picture and completely through. And also I mentioned something else. There's 3 other ladies, young ladies, that are under the age of 30 that went to mind. Ever since January, the day and the 14th of January where I saw Ella, those other 3 have stopped going as well, which is interesting. And then I was put on a bad behaviour contract because Lucy reported me. I think I've already mentioned this, which means I can't engage in sharing phone numbers or anything like that, or email addresses, or you only go there to do activities and friendship. But yeah, because of something I like Lucy on Facebook or something, whatever I put, and I was talking about the burning problem, because her surname matched the burning problem that I get at my place. That got reported to Mind, so I had to block her on Facebook, and that's when I found out that she doesn't really like me, and that she hates me. And just that last time I saw her, which was in the first week of January this year, she was joking with me, saying, "You will find that perfect sexy lady," and sort of laughing about it. And that was it. She never came back. And then she deleted my friend request off of Facebook, and ended up reporting me to Mind of what I just told you. So she's out of the picture as well. And also I've got another new thing I need to mention. Again, it's a couple of days ago this occurred. This lady, it's going to be difficult to describe, but there's a lady that I fancy that uses public transport in the South Petherton direction. It's too late to go with her as well. She's got someone. I don't know whether she was single beforehand, but if she was, I don't think she was one of those only people I saw without a ring on her finger. I can't guarantee it, but at the moment she's definitely with a boyfriend. Whether she had a ring on her finger or not when I saw her, she's definitely in a relationship. I don't actually think there's any possibilities left. I think I've got to rely on this clairvoyant reading, psychic, who's predicted me that a girl called Olive, possibly Flo. So right, let's get back. Let's get to the next section before I forget what it is. While at Bridport, earlier on today in Bridport, these were about 20 sort of rough accent used with this. They have a certain accent, and these are the people that are starting on me with this sort of accent. "Oh, bosh his head in and fucking gar him." Talk like they're saying "ah." They bring the R out in the word, but in a really tempered, sort of dry and sarcastic, stern accent. They're like, they don't say bash you, and they say "I bosh him in a fucking dar, a fucking knife him red." It's that sort of, I can't do the accent, but it's similar to what I just, as I just posed as, what I just tried speaking at, like. It's sort of that accent, very sort of up with it, sort of, really sort of getting nasty. People that speak or have that accent are the ones that are mistaking me as Savannah or Liam, and they're giving me a hard time over it. There's even females that are saying you're not going to get anyone, and I'm not going with you because you're Savannah, or basically stuff like that. It's totally messing up everything to this issue where people are mistaking me as this person, but I don't know who it is, and I don't have a clue why I'm being mistaken as that sort of specific person. When I was talking to an old lady on a coffee morning back when I was living at Burnham-on-Sea, she was telling me that Savannah doesn't even really look like me. There's just a bit of similarity, maybe the same shaped nose. Because I sort of how ridiculous the threat was going. I was doing it like a polite way, obviously, and a bit more. I can't remember the term she used, but basically Savannah's got more of a feeble look in the face than I have, a bit more rounded. Or was that the two teenagers that are back on the back of the bus that mentioned it? I can't remember now. So yeah, and whoever this Savannah is very full of himself. He does a laugh like ha ha ha, but it's I don't know how to describe it, but it's a certain type of laugh, and he plays a guitar. Now who this person is, I don't have a clue. I'm just going by what I've been told by threats, or what people have told me, or what they've heard about this specific person. I don't have a clue. But there was one thing I was told that's not good news, that this Savannah is harder build than me, and slightly more out than me, if you get what I'm saying, according to whether it's a threat or someone who told me. I can't remember now. So, but either way, all this trouble's on the increase, the whole lot of it. I'm just hoping that olive is not the same olive as the clairvoyant predicted or the psychic predicted, because if it is, somebody's going to have to replace it, because I'm not going to. That has really pissed me off. What happened yesterday, that has really annoyed me, because she that I saw yesterday is a type I fancy, and her accent is like really calm. I want a person I could really get with, but it might not be the same person. But there's something I was going to mention, like just now. Now this happened today at Bridport, as I was walking away from the town to basically come and do this recording. I had this on my mind all the time. Two people in their 20s passed me and saying, "You lost Olive, we fucked up, you fucking whatever," and then saying, basically thinking I'm Savannah when they said it. So whether I don't know where that information's come from, but they seem to have some know in advance information that they can't know, basically. So I find that very interesting. So somebody or something's telling them to know that. But literally, there's only 2 weeks left, and having an Olive speak to me already, who's in a relationship, but 2 days ago from the day I saw her, which is yesterday, it's not good at all, is it? This is why I'm doing this documentary now, just in case it's been put through. It might not have, but it might be a different person. Genuinely, there might still be another Olive, but this is not a good sign, to say the least. And also over the last 3 days, I've had a lot of people tell me that we stopped you getting her, or we put it through, or we're making sure you're not getting her, on various names. But the problem is, they keep on telling me I've got to go with middle-aged women. I mean, I've seen people, not so much recently, but I've seen mostly foreigners in happy relationships with 20 or 30 years difference in age, and they're walking around Bridport or other places without any problems at all, with massive age gaps. And yet I passed one going back at West Bay, when I went to West Bay. This goes back at the beginning of this year or the late summer of last year, I can't remember. I saw this that's the other no, I'll do this one first. I saw a Chinese lady. She only looked like she was about 20, And the man she was with was a British person aged about 50, and I'm not making that up. The other one I wanted to mention is going to the Gateway Church. There's also a bloke about 50 with a medium build to large build, but soft sort of skin looking type woman, not the sort of grubby type, aged somewhere between, well, I'd say a bit older than 18 but not by much, but definitely under the age of 21. And they were in there speaking normally. In actual fact, I filmed that and I put it on YouTube. It's on YouTube already. I shouldn't have done because I can get in trouble, but I just wanted to prove that, and these people don't get started on that other incident. There's another incident, again this was at West Bay, where an Indian lady about 22, 23 was with a bloke about my age, and they were walking past fine with no one starting on them. So why is it that I'm being targeted when all this trouble's occurring? I find this very interesting. This has been going on for many years, right through my whole life. So this is a very long recording. Let me just check to see how long it is. I can't, but just to make sure. I can't see. Well, let me look. I'll have to stop it. So yeah, if there is anyone single, because obviously I'm trying to find love. I don't like having to word this because it's very embarrassing, but a bit like when I have to mention the 700 to 1,000 mile bikes time to get in a stretch every day, or getting an itchy area in the private areas, or washing a certain area, or going to the toilet or whatever, or going for whatever. Yeah, I'm getting very fed up. And there's only been 3 days where it's been 300 to 400, with the rest being 700 to 1,000 plus per day, every single day, right to the current day of the 19th of May, since the 14th of January, in the afternoon or the evening after I left playing pool with Ella at Mind. So yeah, it's very annoying. It's just gone out of my head what I was going to say. That's great. I was going to say, if there's anyone single, I want a younger person. All I'm asking for is a younger person. Obviously, I'm not happy about having a second-hand person, but I've got no choice, and I will never forgive God or Yahweh for this under any circumstances, because I've basically fallen. Why should I forgive when I haven't had nothing in my whole life, and I won't be forgiving? I mean, I'm going to have to put up with getting a second-hand person, but all I'm asking is for someone a lot younger than me, and someone who isn't a mother, basically. That's all I'm asking. I mean, the problem is, there are a couple of people near enough in my age group who I can fancy, but the problem is, they're too risky, because these types of people have probably got HIV or other diseases, because they've literally they've had sex over 1,000 times in my age group, and with many different men, especially when they went clubbing as like a teenager. This is the problem. I want someone who's fresh. And when you consider that I've never had anyone in my life and been abused many times as a child, with Jesus forcing me to enjoy it by forcing his suffering out on me, causing me to enjoy being molested or whatever, is not good, is it? And being stopped from getting anyone. And it gets even better because 20 years ago I had a psychic reading, a past life psychic reading, and I was sexually abused many times as a little girl in my last life. And when I grew up to be a really sexy lady, apparently, according to the psychic. But unfortunately, I was never had anyone, and by my early 20s I died tragically. But she never stated how I died. And she said that karma's going to reward me in this life. Like heck has it. And the problem we've got after this, if I don't get anything in this life, and I get sexually abused again in my next life, then I'm just being used. And that's blue murder in every life. And this is why I've turned against God. And I'm not going to let it go, even if I get anyone. But what I will do is, if I do get sex in this life, I will love that person, and I will never hurt that person, and I genuinely mean that to the heart. There's no need for women to be hurt. And that makes me sicken, that does. That's something else I want to mention. These people that are turned against me, these ladies that I've been suffering for, or wanting badly, or trying to pray to God, that's going back at the time that I wanted these ladies, it turns out that they just get nasty with me, get aggressive, shout at me, and I'm thinking to myself, why did I care for them or have feelings for them in the first place if they're going to do that? And that really sickened me. And then it turns out later on, they get in a relationship with a violent person, and they take that option instead. So I've had to go through all that as well in my life, being in like a state in self-depression, thinking, will you please help me? And I want to love you, and I have feelings for you, and I can work you out. Like, obviously didn't work them out that good. So yeah, you had that as well. But if there is anyone that's single, yeah, please do get in touch. And then obviously, because what I do if I get someone is I would get off to alcohol drinking, or at least narrow it for now. I will stop writing stuff down, like the trouble I get in the streets, or photographing stuff, or being in my depressed state. This is the reason I'm always feeling down. People are saying I'm miserable or so and so, but this is because I'm like been suffering for like sex all my life and not being able to get it because nobody can provide it. And the fact that you're getting thoughts of what happened to you as a child, you know, it's on and ongoing. You just cannot get anyone, and they're just holding you back. They're either causing to fail, they're stopping me getting anyone, they're putting it through, or someone else is grabbing it with some knowing advanced technology where they know him. It's always happening though. That's the problem. It's like it's done on purpose. It's like they know you want that person, they deliberately take it from you, and they get in the relationship so you know her one day, and within about a week's time she's got someone. That's always been the case. How is that happening? And with every person, how is that happening? Even if it's people I don't know well or never spoke to, and you're about to get to know them, how does that happen? It's being done deliberate. It is. But how, I do not know. And how those people know, like the two people that I passed earlier, who were about 20, how did they know about Olive? Oliver hasn't even come into my life yet, and saying whatever it was they said. What I told you, I can't remember what it was now. It just popped out of my head. We lost Olive or something. No, we've taken Olive from you, but I can't. There's a certain word in they used. I can't remember what it was. Yeah. So yeah, if there's anyone single, I'd prefer to have someone in the UK. It's be more helpful. But the thing is, I'm not going to take the risks of being scammed all the time, because I've been scammed for thousands on dating and other places, and they're always wanting top-up cards for Netflix and whatever else. The very few genuine users that are, they're all overseas that like me. I must have messaged about 8,000 people. That's because I was in most days, right through for months, between November and March, April. I was literally in all day messaging on dating. I've had to pay a lot of money on that as well, and I've been scammed. I've messaged about 8,000 members, and I've had about 150 contact me, and each one of those that have tried, they've all tried scamming me, each and every one of those. And the other problem I got, in the UK, those who appear to be genuine, there's not many people on dating in the UK actually, but the ones that are, they're either profiles that are 10, 15 years old that are inactive, or they are parents before legal age of sexual consent in the UK. Literally every one of them. You go on Facebook, you can't find anyone at all over the age of 20 that is not a mother. And it's getting very serious as well, because I can't fuck about like this at 44, coming up 45 years of age. I know age is just a number, but in the UK that seems to be a problem. That's what the issue is. I don't mind relocating to a better place in the UK if there is, but I'm going to need help with it, because I've been put into like a real suppressed state right through my life. It's narrowed my intelligence, it's knocked me into a dumb state, and I need to get out of that dumb state coming back to reality. And that's going to take about a year to do, because I just let my life go. I've put my life down the drain. And this time last year, or just a bit before this time last year, I was thinking about ending my life. But the problem is the reason I haven't is because I'm wanting sex and a partner. I've been needing a shag all my life, and there's been times where I've been really desperate, and at those times where it's been really desperate and I've been getting erections, they time 1,000 loud bites to erections each day, or time lookalikes to people that sexually abused me as a child to an erection. The loud bite occurs regardless. This is why they timed this in several days in a row recently. They timed auto parts van, and dickies, and motorbikes or lookalikes to people that abused me as a child. It doesn't stop. This issue doesn't stop. And there's another thing I need to cover as well. There's another few things I need to cover, and I've got low on time because I need to get the bus. Actually, I'm going to have to make a move, actually. This is getting serious times now. I'll just quickly mention this. The last 3 days... No, not today. Yesterday and the day before, sorry. I had 3 separate threats being mistaken as Savan, but giving details of my father and what he does, stuff like that, and other names, but thinking that I'm Savan. And when that happens, then 3 different people have done this, and this is not good, because this is coming back directly at me. I can't say what it is that's been said because it will cause offence, and I don't want to upset my father either. I kind of let him know what's happened, but obviously it's not suitable to mention. But what it does mean is it's too dangerous to go to my dad's, whether to stay or to visit. They've literally jeopardised me with this Savan, and I mean this is serious. This is more serious than ever. But I can't tell anyone what it is. So I want to mention that. All the other things I want to mention. Oh, the other thing is this Lauren curse. When the sun comes out, I don't like the sun all the time. I'm being circled with sunshine. They're still doing that, and I'm not going to get that Lauren or a lookalike to that Lauren. It's like being violated with a sexual curse, because there's a sexual curse painting, right? With a lookalike to this Lauren, and it's rainy everywhere else, or cloudy, should I say? And she's a lookalike, posing as if she's reaching down to give you sex, holding the sun on you while you're walking down a track in the mood. But they also made the picture on that specific painting that they put on postcards, which is they stopped selling in the card shops at the moment. I only saw it on one occasion, but didn't buy it on day because it didn't register in my mind the full suggestion, and I thought I had to go back and take a photo of it or buy the card. The next time I went, whatever, and time went on and on, I looked on the internet and whatever, the card vanished out of existence, and don't know who done it or whatever. But the problem is they put it on a big card, and it's mainstream sort of card. Well, if it's not mainstream, it's been produced on a card that sells very well. And yeah, I'm not going to get anything that looks like that. And also that person that's walking down that track, on that path, on that specific picture, in some ways looks a bit like me. So they've messed up completely on that. I mean, I'm violated with everything. Literally everything. I'm the one that's violated. But I've got to leave because I've got to get that bus. I'll do another recording if I remember what the other few things are. I think I covered most of it though. So there was a lot more I put on there yesterday on this recording, and there's a lot more stuff. But the threats and everything else is all getting worse. The whole lot's getting worse. This is a bad sign. But as the psychic said, that was going to happen until that olive came. But the problem is that olive I spoke to yesterday that's got me in a state where I can't guarantee that's the same olive. Anyway, I'll end the recording and I'll put anything else on a new documentary at a later time, and I'll let you know how it goes if that girlfriend ever comes into my life, and if they're right or not. Basically if they're right, but if it doesn't come true, it's been deliberately taken from me and it'll have to be replaced. I think that's the best way to put it. Anyway, if you have any comments, leave it below, and if you want to contact me on Facebook, although I put a lot of negative stuff on there, please forgive me for that, but it's me being in a bad way, and I get really fed up with the way I'm treated. I just want to sort of get my say, but I'm not as nasty as what I make the sheets sound. That's just me losing my temper to make my words strong against people that give me trouble, and I'm not happy about it. And if there is anyone, as I said, I want someone that's friendly, and I want someone that's genuine, and I want a calm, friendly person that likes the outdoors more than the indoors, because I like doing things. I'm a nature type person. And if you are genuine, I would say I prefer blondes, but because of my age, blondes in my sort of but the problem is, I'm definitely not going to find anyone my age that's not a mother. That's the problem. Even 14 years younger or 15 years younger, it's too late. That's the problem. So it's going to have to be someone that can allow that age gap, and someone that wants to enjoy a happy life. Just give me the chance. You will be loved if you can do that. I'll put everything else on another recording. Thanks for listening. Just wanted to mention why I went into supported housing, because the issue with neighbours at my old place. And the other thing I wanted to mention, which I forgot to mention earlier, is when it comes to the disability or the mentally disabled dating sites, unless they're the grubby looking type, they're all in relationships. It's just men that are available, or if there is any, say, autistic women that are single, then they're mothers. They seem to be taken, I noticed, from people when it comes to the sexual type of mentally ill women. I noticed that they seem to be with normal guys, and usually in some cases the rough type. So that's something I wanted to get on that recording, which I forgot about when I was doing this recording earlier. There's no sex in heaven or hell, only in the material matrix on earth. So you'd have to be reincarnated, but what did I say earlier? What happens when you're reincarnated? Well, it says it all, doesn't it? Another thing I've been told by enemies is, I forgot to mention this as well on the recording earlier, is that I'm supposed to be with homosexual attraction because of my age. But anything else, I'll add it to this, but I'll try and get to an end of this. Yesterday I had a perfect recording, but I had to delete it because of how bad the stuff was, because of this issue of possibly losing Olive, the psychic prediction.